And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break. Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos, we cover the latest and greatest with the state of pro wrestling for March of 2025, March of 2025. Where we're talking about all the good stuff leading into WrestleMania, including John Cena's heel turn. Is AEW too violent? And all the stuff that leads up into WrestleMania. We talk about all the stuff that's going on in and around WrestleMania. That's coming up for you on Pop Culture Cosmos. It's available right now, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, as well, of course, Magic Man is here. He and I had to sit through this crap fest of a game that we saw the Lakers play. We did it at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break with the one shining light, the rivalry between SB and Xbox, making it the only thing worthwhile, and the insults that Magic Man laid into Joe. So if you want to hear all that, plus why Jordan is the greatest of all time and why John really can't defend it very much, go ahead and check it out at playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. Also want to go ahead and give a big shout out to the Lakerholics crew, Lakerholics.com. You know they're not happy after the Lakers have lost 3 in a row. Go ahead and find out why at Lakerholics.com. Empire Jeff was in the chat earlier today. Go ahead and check him out. Lakers and Dodgers coverage. Although when the Lakers are playing, I don't know how much he wants to cover the Lakers, but go ahead and check out his channel anyways, Empire Jeff TV. Of course, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, he stopped on by, so I wish him well. I see he said he's in Dallas, so maybe he'll check out some Dallas Mavericks games. AD is back for them, so we'll see what happens there. But go ahead and check out Daniel Berry Sports Highlights, and also our good friends Alfred Esmond, who must be a happy guy right now because he covered the Orlando Magic. Legend 350. Hopefully, all is well with him, and of course, also as well Stone Hansen, covering the NBA draft and taking a very close look at the players during the March Madness tournament, which, if I remember, I will give you an update on. In fact, let me do it right now because I am going to be jetting on out as soon as Joe gets here. Going to go ahead and bring it up right now. I think Z Money, last time I checked, was the leader in the clubhouse. I had a less than favorable day yesterday. So far in the group, yes, Z Money is right now ahead with 96.7% correct. I am just behind in second place with 94.3%. ESPN Fan 86.99 with 82.5. Then you get to Stone Hansen at 70.3, EQ and JY, they're all at 70.3. Then Robert Wheeler at 63.6. I am Easy Flash 50.1. And Frito Bang, I think he just intentionally got all these wrong. He's at 23% for the March Madness tournament. Don't let him pick your March Madness tournament next year. That's all I'll say. But of course, appreciate everyone that participated in it. Good luck to you on the rest of the way. Also, as well, of course, don't forget that we are here. Sean, I can't hear you, man. I can't hear your mic. Yeah, we'll see you in just a sec. He's going to try and fix that. But it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers heading out on a very important road trip after the 2 games on the homestand that they threw away. One was just a very poor effort on Saturday, and one on Thursday was just a stupid idiot decision, one after another, about having people sit out. So we said, you know what? This road trip upcoming had to be the key, and they had to go at least 3-1, if not 4-0, to maintain their spot in the Western Conference. So what do they do today? They head in there, and of course, after the Saturday night's game, LeBron's words were, "We've got to, as a team, apologize to Luka for our embarrassing performance." How did they apologize to Luka? With another embarrassing performance today, especially starting off at the end of the second quarter as the Lakers had a 10-point lead. Things were looking pretty good. And then Orlando rattled off 8 straight points, got it down to a 2-point deficit at the half, and then kicked the Lakers' ass in the third quarter, 34-18. There's just no other way to describe it. The Lakers looked listless. They looked lost. They looked small on the defensive end, and they just looked like they were not going ahead and just ISO ball. Just did not look like a team that was in sync in that third quarter. And it was a little too late as the Orlando Magic beat the Los Angeles. The team with the worst offense in the NBA scored 118 points as they beat the Lakers 118-106 in the Magic Kingdom. And here today to go ahead and discuss, guys, indeed. First up was the first man here. I think I can hear him now. It is, of course, the madman from Toronto. He get out of Toronto traffic to go ahead and watch this mess. It is, of course, the guy who is a great part of our playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break live coverage, Magic Man Sean Grice. And Sean, where to begin? Absolutely, just in this 4-game road trip, it's imperative you get the kind of effort with a team that already struggles on the road. So what do? In that third quarter, and actually the countdown to the end of the half, lost all their mojo and never got it back.
100%, Gerald. And I've just posted a couple of key efficiency stats in the chat for the panel and for everybody. And there's one thing that needs to be noted, whether it was Darvin Ham, whether it's JJ Redick, whether Anthony Davis is in the lineup, whether LeBron is, or Luka. The Lakers are a bad third and fourth quarter team, Gerald. The stats bear it out. There are only 4 tanking teams who have a worse net rating in the third quarter than the Los Angeles Lakers do. And Gerald just summed it up right there. 34-18, minus 16. I don't care how great of an offense you think you have. This is the NBA, man. All these guys are playing for keeps. They played hard. They've made it. They're that 1% of the 1% of the 1%. I don't care who you're playing. I don't. I've said it before, Gerald. I'll say it again. You could be playing the Pelicans, the Jazz, the Warriors, the Lake. It doesn't matter. They come to play. And the Lakers just did not come to play tonight, Gerald. I don't know what it was. I don't know whether they got the South Beach flu early, as we've talked about, Gerald. They just decided to get it out of the way. I happen to think that's what happened. That being said, there are no excuses for a performance like this after an abysmal performance previously, Gerald. I mean, the score was closer than the game really was, Gerald. I mean, at one point, the Lakers got it with, I believe, 8, 106-98. And then I believe it was Anthony Black who hit a 3. And then all of a sudden, it's 111-98. And that was, as Gerald said, all she wrote. An abysmal performance by LeBron. He is coming off an injury. And so, but I'm still not going to make excuses for that. You were injured, but now you're in the starting lineup. And if you're not going to play up, if you can't play up to your capabilities, then you need to do something else. And I mean, AR wasn't feeling it tonight. Luka tried. He did. However, nobody else caught fire, Gerald. So, I mean, this was just a peak abysmal performance on the road.
Oh, but it's okay, Magic. It's okay. Remember, health before seeding. Health before seeding. That's all we've heard. After the Thursday game, when Joe and I got lambasted by so many in the chat and in the comments, it's okay. It's just one game, Magic. It's just one game. Health before seeding, Magic.
Yeah,
health before seeding.
We have 11 games, Gerald, left. I believe the Lakers have to go minimum 7-4. Probably more like 8-3 if they want that 3.
Oh, they need to go 9-2, Magic. They need to go 9-2 at the very least. Let's not BS
what's going on. Yeah, I mean, you could potentially lose home court here if if you're dangling around with this, because guess what? You get the Pacers and the Bulls next, Gerald, and you get New Orleans after that in a week and a half, but you get Memphis, you get Houston twice, you're getting OKC twice, and the level of competition is rising. And either you rise or you fall. And right now, it's not looking good, Gerald. I will say this. I We talked about it before, Gerald. The 30-point loss to the Bulls looks bad. However, I was expecting a game similar to that somewhere down the road. I didn't think it'd be that bad, but this is what happens. You're playing great. You make a trade. It happens a lot. You make a trade. Your coaching staff is able to make key adjustments and play within the strengths of the team defense, and you can live off that for a little while. But eventually, there's going to be film on what you're doing, and somebody's going to exploit it. And Billy Donovan exploited it 2 nights ago, Gerald, and tonight Jamal Mosley exposed it again.
Once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. It is Magic Man Sean Grice along with me, Gerald Glassford. Thanks so much again for watching and listening. The Lakers, unfortunately, don't start the road trip in the right fashion with a 118-106 loss. And here today to go ahead and discuss that is a man who I hope dominated on the court yesterday, like
Damn
Michael
right.
Jordan, the GOAT. Also a man who is still owed $100. We have put a bounty, I think, on there as far as in the chat, waiting for Magic Man needs the 100 from Intel. John needs the 100 from, what is it? I Speak the Truth, who spoke the truth about bailing out after he realizes he owes you $100. It is the guy behind Clutch Talk in Lakers Corner. Yes, it is John Costa. John, good to have you here, my friend. Glad you're feeling better. Glad you dominated on the court. I don't know if getting everyone sick was the key to your winning your game yesterday, but maybe you did that. Like, guys, I was just getting over COVID and then see them all back off and let you drive down the lane. But, yeah, be that as it may, my friend, I hope you dominated indeed. The Lakers, unfortunately, didn't dominate anything. They got dominated. And on the offensive end against a team that is anemic offensively. But it's okay, John. It's absolutely okay. It's just one game and health over seeding. I'm going to keep reiterating that because that's what kept getting reiterated to me on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Silliness, man. Health over seeding is silliness. But let me answer to
a one game, John. It's just one game.
Just one game has rolled over into like 3 or 4 games that we've lost, and we've just said, oh, it's just one game. So we got a couple things to get to. So first, Joe said I owe him an argument. Joe, you owe a response to my argument. You don't even have a response to any of my points, so that's what you owe me, Joe. But about the game, yes, we did win. We came home and finished the Bay Area Adult League Championship with the trophy. Got a nice little T-shirt, so that's great. But you know who didn't win today? The Los Angeles Lakers, man. We did not win, and
maybe they went to the Magic Kingdom, John.
You said what?
Maybe they went to Disney World.
Yeah, or what's the other place they call it there?
Universal.
Yes, Universal Studio. But I was thinking of the strip club, but it's in ATL.
No. You're thinking of Magic City.
I'm thinking of Magic City. That's all.
But I have a feeling they might have some adult.
Great wings, by the way. Lou Williams wasn't wrong. I tried them. They're good.
That is so funny. Yes. Joe, this shirt right here is from my high school. Joe, come on, don't be a hater, Joe. He said it's a green turd shirt. Come on, Joe, don't be a hater. Come on the show, Joe. But about the game and not about Magic City, guys. You know what really frustrated me? And shout out our boy Henry, who he was in playback. He said that he kept emphasizing it the whole game. To me, like, I really don't understand why at the end of that game, because I mean the game really fell down in third quarter, fourth quarter, but to me, I really don't understand why JJ Redick was running a lineup of it was AR, it was Luca, Rui, DFS, and LeBron. So LeBron was basically our 5-man. We are going up against the Orlando Magic, who, mind you, the smallest player on the court at the time was Anthony Black at 6'7". But you know who was the real point guard if you're watching the game? A point guard is who's initiating the offense. Paulo Banchero was initiating the offense for them. He is 6'10". So it went from 6'7" to 6'10" and only up. So to me, it was like, why in the world are we running a small ball lineup? Not even, I'm not saying that, that Hayes is the answer to all this, because he has his weaknesses. If you bring him on the perimeter, they could get by him, absolutely. But we all know, we've seen Anthony Davis play on this team. We all know what just simply deterring a defender or just making a defender think twice by just having some big arms and big hands and being at the rim can do. That can change absolutely everything in someone going to the rim, someone going to finish, someone going to lay it up. And we didn't have that out there. We all highlighted it in playback. They were getting to the rim, and I'm really only focusing on that third quarter, because that third and fourth quarter is where we really lost this game. They were getting to the rim at will. There was no pressure. They didn't even think twice about it. And when you have a player like Jackson Hayes in there, and at the time, like he's our only real big true rim protection. So when we have a player like him in there, that changes their thought process. Now they're going to try to get some more outside shots. Now it doesn't come as easy. So to me, like, that was where we just fundamentally went wrong. Like, JJ Redick ran the wrong lineup out there today. Dalton Connect, his minutes once again was staggered, right? I mean, sorry, not stagnant, very inconsistent.
He's in the doghouse. Let's just not beat around the bush. He's in the doghouse.
But see, to me, I don't understand why he's in the doghouse. Like, the defense, right? I understand everybody's going to talk about his defense, but to me, it's like, okay, started the season, we were like, oh wow, we got a good, 6'6" shooter, played just like JJ Redick. I think this is going to be great. Found out his defense wasn't good. He was in a doghouse for a bit, got part of that trade, and then came back because the whole trade rescinded. JJ started giving him more playing time. He got confidence. We all were on the Dalton Connect train, and now he's right back in the doghouse. So to me, it's like, JJ, you have to, with a player like that, man, you gotta give him consistent minutes, because he thrives off that consistency. He thrives off knowing his role. He thrives off seeing the ball go in the basket, getting reps up. And at this point, one game he's getting 18 reps up. Next game he's getting in the last 18 seconds of the game. So to me, that's another fundamental issue we had this game. But I think, if you want to look at where we lost this game, you could just simply look at that third quarter, man. 34-18. I don't want to misspeak, but I believe that
34 to 18.
Yeah. So, hey, man, if we want to be an elite team this year, which, I mean, I think we all want to, but I think we all know we still need a couple more pieces to get us there to that elite level. But if we want to be an elite team, we're going to have to clean up these third and fourth quarters, because if you look at almost all elite teams in the playoffs, in past, like the Warriors, like they were literally a third quarter team. Like they would come back into games in the third quarter, and a lot of elite teams, but for us, we're kind of the opposite. We get on first half and then drop off third and fourth. So very disappointing, man, but not disappointed to be here. And Magic Man, Gerald, good to see you, brother. Everybody here in the chat, good to see y'all.
It was great to have you part of what we're doing on Playback. Great to have you on the game. Lakers all day. Email me. I'm leaving at 7. Joe, be here before then. So you might want to ask him. But yes, you can email me and I'll send you the link. But wonder who you're going to piss off this time, Lakers all day. But it is, of course, the Lakers losing 118 to 106. Magic Man, it's just one game. The hindsight is 2020 for a lot of people, and the chat has gone quieter about that. They realized that Joe and Gerald were onto something when they were so adamant on Thursday night not to punt games late in the season like this.
It is, Gerald, and unfortunately, because of the schemes we play, you can't really adjust on the fly, especially with all the injuries and raw inability to field an active roster for what feels like 8 to 10 games. I mean, look, we could use all the buzzwords we want. The for through January and February, the Lakers have played an aggressive style of man defense. They play less zone than most teams in the NBA. When I watch games, the Lakers don't play much of it. However, there are certain times, especially in that Bulls game, where playing a funky kind of zone
You're
is something
awesome.
JJ Redick is capable of putting into a game plan. That unfortunately, I don't think he trusts Hayes and anyone else playing
awesome.
center. All due respect to LeBron, to be able to peel and scram the way AD could. You can't ask guys to do what AD can. It's hard.
You're awesome.
It's about 3 or 4 guys in the world can do what AD can. And you trade for Luka, which is a trade you do 100 times over. But that being said,
awesome.
there was going to be a point in time when the chickens come home to roost, and you can't get away with this aggressive man defense, Gerald, especially when you've got LeBron,
You're
AR,
awesome.
and Luka on the floor together. You have those 3 guys on the floor together. You better have a center that can rebound the hell out of the ball and is a vertical dynamo. And you better have another perimeter defender out there that can compensate for what the other 3 can't. But teams are taking advantage of it now, Joe, as John pointed out succinctly. You got Anthony Black, who's 6'7". AR is 6'4.5", 6'5". Luka's 6'6". LeBron's 6'9". You've got capable length and athleticism out there to handle this, but you just didn't take him seriously. And I'd like to kind of hear that, Gerald. A little bit of admission here. We didn't take this group seriously. We came into Orlando. We thought it'd be an easy win. We dip out and be able to go back on the road. I don't know what it is, Gerald, but this team has a level of conceit to it, especially when it comes to offense, that they think they could just bail themselves out if they get down by 15 or 16.
Yep, absolutely. Once again, it is, of course, the Lakers fast break. The Lakers lose 118-106. Big shout out to Raphael sending out and spreading the love for the 5 memberships out there. Truly appreciate you joining us. If you want to become a member, it's just $2.99 a month right here at the Lakers fast break. But John, getting back to you, Lakers all day. I don't know if you're still out there. You have not emailed me. Okay, I see you emailed. Okay, there you go. All right.
Magic Man.
Come on here,
let me ask Magic Man something, because Magic Man, I love the point that you made, brother, about that. I don't know where that confidence comes from, but they have it, right? I feel like a lot of LeBron-led teams kind of have had that, though. Like, you just kind of had that arrogance of like, fuck it, like, we got LeBron. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. And I think even more with Luka, because Luka's like another LeBron, just not athletic, to be honest with you. He's just like at any point in the game, he can manipulate it and take over. So, I mean, I would think it's because we have Luka and LeBron, but like, is there any reason that you see as to like why in the fuck the Lakers have this like unfathomable about a confidence that it's like, yeah, we can come back into a game after having a terrible third quarter?
Yeah, no doubt. That's a great question, brother. No doubt. And to his credit, LeBron deserves to have that kind of mindset. Like, all due respect, I mean, because previously, like at 17, 18-point lead is nothing to him. So, same thing with Luka. But I think collectively, John, I don't know why it like, okay, so shit rolls downhill. So LeBron has this attitude. Luka has this attitude. I don't think it behooves like Dorian Finney-Smith or AR or Jackson Hayes to have that kind of unwavering arrogance, like you were saying, because they haven't earned it yet. But because you're co-opt with LeBron and Luka, it's almost like, oh, I get a little bit of the crust of that self-confidence. And like, it hasn't been earned yet. It hasn't been earned. And definitely on those Miami teams, would say 100%. The Cleveland teams beforehand, absolutely. But Luka and LeBron do know what it's like to not have a lot of talent around you, have to bust your ass. So I think it's a combination of, it's a great point, John. I think it's a combination of those guys. Because it's not a matter of leadership. I just think it's a matter of like explaining that because we have skills that you don't, you think that it's easy for us, so it's easy for you, and we can make it look easy, but it's not. And I just think a lot of these guys put in the back of their brain, brother, that we got Luka and LeBron, so I can just put it on cruise control. You can't put it on cruise control. Those guys can. A guy who's been in the league 6 years and is a first team All NBA, yeah, he can put it on cruise control because you know what he's going to do. And same thing with LeBron. But AR doesn't have that reputation, man. And a lot of these guys shouldn't live off a reputation you haven't earned.
That's real shit, Sean. That is real. I love that answer.
Once again, it is the Lakers fast break. Lakers lose 118-106. Before I head on out, I'll just give everybody updated here on the standings in the Western Conference as of right now. Lakers are 43-28. They are fourth place in the Western Conference, but they are tied with Memphis. So it could get worse, guys. It could get worse. But as JJ Redick says after the game, we're going through it a little bit. Really? Couldn't have figured that one out. But here today to go ahead and also
a subscriber.
Thank you, Deshaun, for subscribing. Lakers All Day is here. Yes, you wanted to come on. So you're on now, my friend.
What's up, y'all?
I have to
What's
say,
up, y'all? How y'all doing?
Wisdom do you have for us on this occasion today?
Listen. 2 game loss against the Bulls and now Orlando Magic.
No, don't leave out the fact that they punted on Thursday. Please do not fact that they punted against the Bucks.
Yeah. I got you. I'm gonna get to that too. I don't think we're playing down to competition. I think there's a situation going on in the locker room that nobody's talking about. And like ever since Luka got here, like it's not Luka's fault and it's not him specifically, but it's like I feel like before he got here, we were an inconsistent team. Like we've been an inconsistent team before he even was a Laker. And you're seeing what that is now. And us not having Anthony Davis that can help in the paint a little bit, and Max Christie low key playing defense on some of these good guards. Yes, the Bulls. I mean Orlando don't really have that, but the Bulls did. You know what I'm saying? And not having Max to like help out Vando and Dorian, that's a problem because now you have Luka that can't play no goddamn defense but offense. You got Austin Reeves that want to dribble the ball like he freaking Kyrie Irving, and you got LeBron want to go to the basket, and then you have Dalton Connect. You know what I'm saying? He's inconsistent. It's not his fault, but it's JJ Redick's fault because how you gonna play a rookie like that, knowing that he has a 3-point shooter? You know what I'm saying? He gets hot from time to time, but then you don't play him. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a problem. And the Luka problem is like, yes, he's a superstar. Yes, he's a superstar. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna get his buckets just like LeBron and AR, but he don't got no goddamn defense. You know what I'm saying? Because look, AR got cooked last night. That dude, number freaking 14 from the Bulls, he cooked his behind. Okay, Luka got cooked last night and tonight. Yes, that's cool. He scored 38 points, 8 rebounds, whatever, blah blah blah. I don't care about that. Yes, you know what I'm saying. We all know that they can all do good on offensive side, but playoffs is half court basketball. Playoffs is when you play defense. So us not having AD and Max Christie for our defensive help in the paint and from our perimeter, that's a problem. Because now it's like, you know what I'm saying, they can pick on Luca, they can pick on they can pick on Luca, they can pick on Austin Reeves, they can pick on Gabe Vincent because he's small. You know what I'm saying? That's I feel like the problem we're having, our defense and our effort on defense.
I'm just going to leave it at this, and then I got to go ahead and turn it over to Joe for the rest of the evening. The Lakers with AD and Max in that current configuration that it had before had no chance, zero, none of getting to the title game. I don't know what planet you guys were living on, but you guys don't remember what it was like 2 months ago, seemingly. You guys gone into brain fade. Whenever you guys bring back Max Christie and AD and all that stuff going on, you guys don't realize that this team had zero chance. The window was closed. We had 5 years with AD.
It's ex-lover remorse.
It did not get done. It did not get done. Max Christie is all over the place. Check the box scores. Check his play. He is all over the box scores. You stop knighting him the next GOAT defender.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's a good defender, but I'm saying that
he's not even starting for Dallas right now, and Kyrie is out for the year. He's not even starting. So come on, guys, get with it. This team, Lakers all day. This team had zero chance of winning a championship with AD and Max in there. Give it a break. Give it a rest. We'll move on. We have Luka now. And again, we've got to work some things out. We don't have a full team around him. And I'll just leave it at that. But I get so tired of hearing, well, if we had AD, we had Max. We're worried with AD and Max the past 3 seasons. I'll just leave it at that. Joe, I will turn it over to you to host the show.
Good button on your exit there, Gerald. Good point.
That's what I'm going to say. I'm just so tired of it, man. But Joe, it's just one game.
Actually, it's not. It's been 3 games now.
It's almost
health over seeding.
I'm going to put in a little different perspective here, guys, that we've sort of, Jared and I already talked about, and it's something that you guys really need to this needs to be branded in your brains. This is the highest level of athletic ability in this sport, and there's a reason why when you don't play for a week or two, you're off your rhythm. If it wasn't the NBA, you'd probably be okay playing at the Y or whatever. That this is the highest, and it's beyond difficult. Beyond difficult. We'll never know. We'll never know what that is. So when you're on a run. And I'm gonna say a couple things here that'll make sense. So they beat Phoenix, they beat San Antonio, and then they had a really good win against Denver. And this is where the Lakers have been notorious. And this is with AD, this is with your hero, Superman, Batman, Max Christie. Okay, it doesn't matter. Luka, there is an organizational decision being made here with these guys that continues to happen. And what it is everyone thinks this time it'll be different. It's not. Lakers all day. It seems like you're itching to say something. Do you want to say something?
Yeah. I want to say.
Go ahead. I'll continue. Go ahead. When I see somebody itching like that, I gotta let you talk. Go ahead. Do your thing. Go ahead.
No, you're good. But it's from. Okay, it's not that. I feel like what we have now, yes, it's a good team, but Vando can't play all the darn defense. You know what I'm saying? And Dorian can't play all the darn defense. So the other players that are like Austin, Gabe, you know what I'm saying? The other players, they got to step up on the defensive side just in case they don't have it. Because, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's why I keep on saying, yes, Max and AD, yes, I know they're not here no more, but they helped us out because when the others was out here letting their man go by, you know what I'm saying? They were playing help side or they played that one-on-one defense. You feel me? And they're not going to get cooked sometimes, but yes, they are. But you know what I'm saying? At least somebody can slide their feet on defense and play ISO basketball on the offensive player. You know what I'm saying? That's my problem. It's like, you know what I'm saying? We saying like people over here getting mad about AD and Max and everything, but bro, like, bro, we got cooked. We got cooked by freaking Magics and Bulls. Okay, they don't have nothing compared to we have. You know what I'm saying? We got Luke and LeBron. You know what I'm saying? But they got other players that, yes, they're dogs, yes, they're young, but they still came out here and beat us. So that's the problem.
Well, the problem is it's not the talent. Honestly, a little bit of it is in terms of the post and the defensive wall that the Lakers likely will need in the offseason. But that's not that's not the problem. Why were they able to conduct a coherent defensive scheme without their big guns in Denver? Why were they able to mess with Durant when they were playing against Phoenix? Why were they playing so well for the longest time? Because they were in a mode, they were in a vision and a focus to play good basketball. We watch every game, and it's visible. It's not hard to not spot. They were a step faster. They were a step smarter. It was there. It was there, and it was happening. And there was, even in the Boston game, when LeBron got out, they came back. They were just a couple shots from probably tying the game. And it's a mentality that Gerald and I talked about a few games ago, and we've talked about this in the past. This isn't just an isolated situation this last couple of weeks. If that were the case, if this was one of those dead weeks, I'd be like, all right, it's just they're hitting the shittiest time to do this, and that's what's going on. But no, this is the culture of not only the NBA, but the Lakers have adopted this. Let's not worry about what's going to happen with seedings when, dude, you guys suck on the road. What do you mean you don't want to go with seedings? You have to get home court. Now they're risking home court to start the first round. These are the things that piss me off, because it's not about somebody coming at us and telling us what. I don't give a shit about that. Like, we'll have fun with it and we'll talk about it. But when I get off air, I don't give a shit about what anyone says or thinks when I know what the fuck I'm watching. It does. I know basketball. We know basketball. We've watched enough. So if you're going to come here and insult someone's intelligence on what's really happening, and there's some validity in what you're saying, that there might be a talent deficiency or whatever in certain areas. Yeah, that's fine. We know that their defense kind of maybe played above their heads for a while, but this last two games was inexcusable. You can't lose to the Bulls at home, letting them score 146. I don't care how bad your defense is. You don't lose like that, not with Luka and LeBron and AR on your team. So, but the cause of this is the fact that they got softer than an 80-year-old man at a nursing home without Viagra. That's how soft they got. And that's something that, and I meant that to be serious, but I know some would take it funny. But seriously, no one is challenging any of these guys' manhood. I don't give a shit what LeBron has done the last 22 years. I don't care what Luka's done the last 7 years at this point. Someone needs to tell these guys that they're playing like a bunch of bitches, and tell JJ Redick and the organization that you softened your team. That is what needs to be said. Now, whether they come up from that or not is irrelevant. What needs to happen is they need to be told that, and not from some pipsqueak piece of shit on Twitter either. It needs to be somebody that actually watches the games, that isn't jerking off every time the Lakers lose and they watch the box score only. That's it. This is the facts. You know, John Costa likes to talk about facts, except for one thing. Except for just one thing.
Yeah, you too.
Sean,
you too, Joe.
I got a question for you. How do I phrase this? Let's say if you were the coach Be honest with me. Don't listen to what I forget what I just said. You're Sean Grice. You're your own man. Fuck Joe Soro. Fuck us all. What the hell would you do in that locker room? Fuck the locker room. What would you do, just in general, to everybody and anyone in that organization at this point?
Honestly,
Yeah.
After the game, I would have gotten a hold of the video coordinator, and I would have told him, look, the past 7 games, Denver, Phoenix, Denver, Milwaukee twice, and then Chicago, Orlando. I need to see all the half-court offensive possessions because, Joe, correlation equals causation. Do you know how many fast break points the Lakers have given up in this 3-game losing streak? 72. 72. It's 24 a game on average. Now, the Lakers pulled their you-know-what out of their hind parts because we knew the transition defense was going to be shite regardless. However, they've managed to be the number 1 transition defense between January and February until this losing streak. And old habits die hard. And quite frankly, I'd be a little pissed off, just a little bit, that when we're coming back, nobody's communicating. Do you see anybody communicating when they're rolling back in transition, John? That's your man. That's my man. It seems like everybody's guessing on these scramble plays, and they're just hoping that they miss. There needs to be a little bit more consistency here with your transition defense. And Joe, honestly, somebody probably should tell LeBron, yo, I understand you're 40 years old, brother, but you got to be the leader then to communicate. Austin, you're on Miles Bridges. I've got Cam Johnson. Luka, you're on, I don't know, Speedy Claxton, whatever. But everybody has a role, and nobody is communicating in the transition defense. It's just killing us. Turnovers and transition defense are our enemy, and they're going to do us in if we don't get it right.
Man, and real quick to hop in here, I feel like getting back on defense has been an issue of us all season long, to be honest with you. So that's to add to that, and those are the things that in like when I played basketball, I didn't, you aren't necessarily thinking about that, but this is like when a coach is on your ass, like get back, and then you hear that shit, then it's like, oh fuck, like let me get back. Maybe I was pressuring the ball too much or some shit like that. So to me, it's like, again, I'm not trying to go on this JJ Redick rant, but the last couple of games, from rotations to not making these little adjustments to what Joe and Magic Man and Lakers all day was just saying, like, yo, somebody's got to be holding these people accountable, right? And that's one thing that they all said, like, oh, JJ Redick, like, he'll hold people accountable. Well, I want to see it. I really want to see it, because right now it is a real fork in the road. Like, I want to see, is JJ Redick going to hold these guys accountable? And it's a tricky situation here for JJ, because it's like he got this job off being boys with LeBron, right? Like, LeBron was definitely the one that orchestrated this whole thing. So it's like, how much does he feel comfortable to hold LeBron accountable? But if you want to be a great coach, JJ Redick, you got to say, fuck all that, bro. I'm holding you accountable regardless of if you are the last player on this team or if you are the first player on this team and you literally helped get me this job. So to me, I want to see what JJ Redick's going to do right here. This is a real fork in the road in his career as a coach. But real quick, while I got the stage real quick, just wanted to say thanks for everybody here. I'm about to go hop off, do my game recap real quick. So if you guys want to follow me on all my social media channels, please do. On YouTube, it's called Lakers Corner. I do 3-minute game recaps, talk about the game. On Instagram, it's Lakers_corner, and on TikTok, it's Lakers Corner 24. But besides that, I'll see you boys next game. We got a lot of games here coming up. Joe, you want to say something?
Yeah, don't ever wear that shirt again.
Joe, this is my high school.
I don't give a
We
shit what it
won.
is.
That's crazy.
We won a state championship.
What did I just say?
I just told you that we won a state championship. You
What's
say
that
it's
got to
about
do with
winning,
me?
right, Joe?
What's that got to do with the Laker channel?
Man.
Joe, you don't support me?
I support you, yeah, but not on the show.
Okay.
Oh, he's
all right.
he's wearing a
But-
winner's shirt, Joe.
We're wearing a winner's
You know what I'm
shirt,
saying?
Joe. We
What
won
he
the state
said-
championship.
What he said. What I'm
Anywho.
saying is,
I was
what
waiting
he
for a
said
better
about
answer than
JJ.
that.
you know what I'm saying? What he said about JJ. Yes, it's JJ, but I feel like if y'all realize it, right, it's like I think it's LeBron because like if you see how so like they said like LeBron when there's like a big game or you know what I'm saying he's on like ESPN or something like that, he gets up for the game and he plays like he's a madman. You know what I'm saying? Like he plays great defense. You know what I'm saying? The other players on the team, they freaking play great defense too. And I feel like if JJ wants to get a hold of this defense, he has to go talk to yes the other players too, but the leader of the team. You know what I'm saying? Because if LeBron is the leader and they look up to LeBron, he needs to come out here. Yes, he can score, but you need to come out here and lock up your freaking offensive player that you're guarding. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? Austin Reeves is looking at you on defense. Vando's looking at you on defense. You know what I'm saying? Don't be freaking lackadaisical over here on defense and not getting back and freaking Luka and LeBron are here complaining to the refs every 25, 30 freaking seconds every time they get hit. Like that's even something that's really irks me too because like it's like yes you got fouled but they didn't call it. Get back on defense. You know what I'm saying? Play defense. Don't just sit there and complain every darn drive. Like you know what I'm saying? Like the other players that you're playing with on the court they look at what everything you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Play defense. You know, be a leader. Don't just sit there and whine about the call. You know what I'm saying? Even as JJ too. Even JJ has to, you know, probably say something about LeBron's defense or his leadership. Do something because us losing 2 games like this is trash.
Yeah, it's a good point. It's unfortunate too because Memphis has lost 3 in a row as well, and they had essentially handed a guaranteed 4 seed at least at that point. But now they're going to likely battle here in a few games.
Okay, so again, just to reiterate, right? This is the NBA, the best league in the world. Eventually, someone's going to figure you out. It's just the way it is. This is a pros. And what we found is that we know what Luka is defensively. And unfortunately, we're almost a -10 with him in the starting lineup since he's been traded. Minus 9.7, right?
Mm-hmm.
The big adjustment teams have made, and I've noticed, I'm not sure if the panel has it, teams are willing to kill Austin Reeves with the 3.
Or low key drive by him or go by him for the layup or the dunk.
So it like when Luka's playing laterally, you can beat him. However, he's a really good, solid vertical defender. He can keep guys in front of him, again, if he's not moving laterally. But Austin Reeves has I'm sorry, he's got no redeeming qualities defensively other than he plays hard. Well, that's great. But this is the NBA, and you got to do more than play hard. You got to play well defensively. And they're just picking on him to death. If you can't get Luka laterally, then somebody's going to get Austin Reeves up and shoot a 3 over him. Plus, we have LeBron out there. So, I mean, if you watch the tape, teams are being patient now. And I think they learned to be patient. Get Austin Reeves on an island, you can take him. To reiterate, and this is when I'm waiting for the adjustment from JJ. How are you going to adjust now when teams are beating Austin Reeves off the dribble for a 3-pointer? When 2 years ago he couldn't stop a blind man in a wheelchair defensively. He improved a little bit, right? But this is the NBA, and there's enough tape out there. Teams will figure it out. JJ needs to figure this out. He needs to figure it out. Because like Lakers all day was saying, it's like, this is on LeBron. But somebody's got to step to him and say, look, bro, you're out there. Reeves is out there. Luka's out there. We're shorthanded defensively. Because I don't know about you guys. I don't like the idea of playing Gabe Vincent and Rui and or maybe DFS out there with those three guys. Because DFS is a really good defender, but we don't have a stopper who can kind of cut a team off at the seams there when it seems like we're going into a deluge. The Lakers need a perimeter stopper, and they need that center. These are the two ingredients we've been missing, and unfortunately, it's going to bite us in the ass.
But see, thank you. That's what you just said about us. I understand he's not a perimeter stopper, but the dude we just traded away, Mr. Max. Yes, I know y'all gonna get tired of me saying this. I don't care. He is the one that locked down Donovan Mitchell. Okay. Yes, I know it was a regular season, but he still locked him down. He's the one that moves his feet on defense. Okay, he's the one that plays perimeter defense. So, but we over here complaining about not having that dude because when we did have him, Vando looked great. He played a little bit. Our defense looked great with him because now you can't pick on Austin Reeves. You can put Austin Reeves in the corner. You know what I'm saying? Yes, Luka has bad defense. Okay, that's fine. You can put Max on the best player. Or maybe you know what I'm saying, and play Luka could play help side defense and LeBron could play help side defense. That's the problem. But you move him away because you want to go get Luka, knowing his offensive abilities, yes. But I would have, traded Austin Reeves, kept Max because of defense. Defense wins championships. Defense wins championships. Boston Celtics, yes, they shoot threes, but they play defense. Okay? So if we want to get better now until the playoffs, defense. I mean, if I was me, I would go sit Austin Reeves and maybe go play Goodwin or Gabe. Do something like that. Or maybe go play Dalton Connect. You know what I'm saying? Or low-key go move Dorian to play the best player, or maybe Smith. Somebody there because Austin can't play defense.
Yeah, no, he can't. Lakers all day. And I will say this. I owe D'Angelo Russell a slight apology because I think he took a lot of heat for Austin's defense, and that's just the way it is. It's obvious no matter who you put Austin Reeves around, it's just he's not the guy defensively. He's going to get picked on.
He's not, bro. You saw him get picked. But listen, you know what I'm saying? You saw him get picked against the Bulls. Number 14, that white guy on the Bulls. I don't know his name. He freaking cooked that dude every time he got the ball. And what about tonight? Pick and roll Austin Reeves. Pick and roll Gabe. They picked on both of those guys. Bro, now this teams are getting close to playoffs. So now basketball is gonna be half-court basketball, kind of a fast break if you don't get back on defense. And guess what? Half-court basketball is straight up. Move your feet, get around the pick, or play zone. So if we don't do one of those things and protect the paint and move our feet on defense, we're going to get cooked. Because guess what? If you have Austin Reeves playing ISO basketball on defense and you got LeBron sleeping on defense, you got Luka just, twiddling his thumbs, and somebody gets to the basket and Jackson Hayes is missed the block for the floater or missed the layup, they got to score or come on, bro. Defense first now. This is defensive team now. JJ needs to say bump all the offense crap. Defense, because I'm a defensive. I like defense more than offense. You win basketball games in the playoffs because of defense. You don't win. Yes, you win them on offense, but to lock somebody up and tell them that, oh, you didn't score me, that's defense. That's not offense.
It's adjustments. It could be a lull. It could be all these things that we're talking about all at once.
Mm-hmm.
But
We can't call it a lull at this point, Joe. You've gone 3-7 in your last 10. It's not a lull.
yeah, I guess maybe I'm trying to find something else besides the obvious for me.
We're in a ditch.
The ditch was a ditch they created themselves.
Yeah.
It's not a. I know that Austin Reeves isn't going to be Sidney Moncrief here or Andrew Toney, but these guys were balling pretty well. Defense, offense, they had good chemistry going. They had a good feel for the game. And they were playing some really good teams, and they were playing some good teams on the road. And when they did have guys that were sitting because of injury issues, they were still competitive. But I'm telling you guys right now, man, they got full of themselves after that Denver win.
Yeah. I think they got too big headed.
And there's a reason why cocky was spelled C-O-C-K at the beginning. It's a problem with this team that has resonated, whether it was with Luka, without Luka, with Max Christie, with AD. It's an organizational issue. And who you can look at the common denominator too, but then that becomes a whole different argument because there's been different coaches, there's been different star players, there's been different effective role players, but who's the constant in all these bad focused decisions? You all know who it is.
No. I can't read your mind, Joe. You got to, man.
It's Mr. LeBron James.
Yeah.
LeBron James gets the glory when he wins, and you have to also get the blame when things like this don't.
He doesn't take the heat when he loses, though.
No, he doesn't, and that's probably the biggest dent in his illustrious career is he never really took any accountability for why. He never really ever said, even Kobe admitted in 2004 that he screwed up. Like Shaq says how he screwed up things during that time as well. And LeBron has a major issue with being a leader when he's a front runner. He's always been a front runner.
Yep.
And while it's not necessarily his fault, really, it is because he is the CEO of this team. That's like saying, well, it was the marketing team that had a horrible marketing campaign and we didn't make any money. Well, who was the guy that signed off on it? I've seen a lot of star players, guys. Shaq, Kobe, Jordan. I mean, we've seen a lot of those guys, and they have a say in everything. They have a say in everything in the sense of when it matters on the court, if it's an acquisition, sure, a lot of times the team won't go by with them. But then there are times where they can say, hey, well, what do you think about this? What do you think about Karl Malone and Gary Payton? Yeah, I'll campaign for that.
Yeah.
But it's not. I'm gonna stand on this, and I'm not gonna get off it. I don't care who's on the team right now, because it's not about that. It's about the fact that who is going to want it. And try to not play it easy. They played it easy, and they've been thumped by two lousy teams, by the way.
JJ Redick's, it's funny you used that word there, Joe, because JJ used shortcuts.
Okay, so let's
shortcuts.
Let's roll with that there, Sean. Thank you for bringing that up. What makes you think that this isn't obvious that they're trying to make shortcuts? I know people are not good at being observant. I'm in the real world every day. People make bad decisions taking a golf cart to the course. Like, you could just see stupidity beyond stupidity, right? You can see someone that takes a cart. They can't even get a cart out of the fucking thing like a normal human being. They're like, I don't know what's going on here. I'm like, just pull the fucking thing out, dude. So you've got dumpskis that are constantly just swirling all over. And those same dumbskis, the reason why they have power is, number one, society has allowed them to have power because there's a forum, social media, to where they can yap. And what happens a lot there is, if you've got 1,000 idiots yelling the same thing and there's one asshole like me saying, no, that's not what it is, it's always going to sound like those 1,000 idiots are correct. And that's something that takes a very secure person to not let that affect you. I'm going to put a button on this, and I'll let you guys speak here, because I don't think I have anything else to say on this. These guys pussed out. They're a bunch of pussies, and they played like a bunch of pussies the last few games. And that's something that needs to be hit home. You created this. LA Lakers, LeBron, Luka, before then, AD, Max, all you motherfuckers did the same shit over and over again, and this is the result. Why were we sitting here going, we're not going to win shit with AD when he's supposed to be one of the best two-way players in the league? How many two-way players are in the league? Like a handful. And how many of them are bigs? You know why? Because of this. So think about that for a second. Same shit happening, different plate, different meal, whatever it is. Maybe it's your system, guys. You can't eat the lasagna, you can't eat the hamburger, you're getting all fucked up.
Yeah.
Maybe it's you. Maybe it's your digestive system. I don't know. I'm trying to use a funny analogy here, but not really. I'm just trying to get to a spot, because we have a lot of people here, and I'm seeing a lot of different opinions and a lot of different views, and a lot of you guys are right on some things. But the core issue is always, how much do you want this? And the Lakers have showed that they don't want it.
Thank you. That's what I see. And my favorite player is Kobe Bean Bryant. Okay. And you know what I'm saying? When it's get close to playoff time, or he would have told JJ something about himself. He would have told Luka something about himself. Kobe would have told Austin Reeves to get back and goddamn play some goddamn freaking defense. You know what I'm saying? He would have told everybody about themselves, because guess what? He wants to win. He's a leader. He don't care about nobody's freaking feelings. So that's the type of person that I like on my team. You know what I'm saying? That's who I want on my team every single day, 24/7. I don't want nobody that's gonna be whining to the referees every time he gets a hit in the face, or freaking get bumped across the floor. I don't care about that crap. I want to win. So that's what the problem is. We don't have a winner on this team. We don't have we don't have a leader that's going to call out the players, that's going to call out the head coach, and tell them what they're doing wrong. We got everybody that's going to just want to be, creating handshakes and freaking just playing offensive basketball. That's what I'm saying. Okay, look, LeBron plays more offense than anything. Austin Reeves plays more offense than anything. Luka plays more offense than anything. We got three people that want the ball 24/7. What happens when you pass the ball to when the freaking Luka passes the ball to Austin Reeves? Dribble, tries to go to the basket, passes out to LeBron. Dribble, backs down, goes to the paint, get blocked, wants to cry about the foul call, doesn't get back on defense. Luka plays 3-on-1, 2-on-1 sometimes. The offensive team gets a layup. Too many people have right now. I think it's too many basketball. Like, too many people want the ball in their hands. There's only two superstars.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Thank you. That's the problem. No defense. Too many cooks in the kitchen that wants the basketball. And I don't care about us losing 2 games because of Magic and the Bulls. No. This crap been happening a long time. Okay, and LeBron, he can't fix it because he's not a leader. Luka, maybe he can fix it. Maybe, I don't know. JJ, I mean, if he needs to stop caring about freaking stats all the darn time and talk about some of these players that can't play freaking defense, and stop worrying about shooting threes all the goddamn time and get to the basket. You know what I'm saying? Rui needs to play more aggressive. Vando needs to work on his goddamn shot. Man, Austin Reeves, just do what you do and don't.
Those days are gone, man. Those
I
days are
understand
gone.
that, bro. But
We're never
that's
gonna get those. We're
I
never gonna
just
get.
wish we could.
Yeah, I know. Those days are gone. It's not just, and really, it's not just a Laker issue. It is a cultural issue. The
Mhm.
culture in sports and life in general is just try to do. You see all these people online that are making money just showing their twats and their asses and
Mhm.
their tits.
Mhm.
You know, it's like, okay, all right, there's a market for it. I get it, but what you have is you have it dilutes progress. Is this what we're doing all day? Is that what society has gotten to, where all people are doing is jerking off and watching somebody to jerk off? Like, is that really how we advance? It's a and then you watch sports and these guys are compensated better than anyone that's ever been compensated in the history of sports, and it's gotten even more efficient in terms of being able to get fixed up and healthy and have all the avenues to get where you want to go, because organizations don't operate like they did in the 80s and 70s, where they had to depend on the gate. Now they have TV contracts. Now they have sponsorships that cover so much of their expenses. They can have any amenity they want, and it's still weak, and they're still soft, and they're still getting hurt. And there's just not enough discussion about it. It just keeps getting put away because most of the generation now that are watching are just as soft as they are. And we're the old people who, oh, you walk through snow and all that shit. No, I never fucking walked through snow. Sean has walked through snow. I've never walked through snow. Actually, I've walked through sun most of my life. So I actually think I should be patted on the back even more. I still put in the work even though my conditions were easy.
Mhm.
Sean had to work hard. He had no choice. He couldn't get to his car unless he did. So what is it that needs to be done? I just feel like it's a repeat. It's a broken record at this point.
And the problem is compounded when I'm talking about JJ here. He's got a lot of juggling act going on here, Joe. So let's talk about a problem. Not the problem, but a problem. You can't find a way to accentuate Rui's strengths and Dalton's strengths at the same time. You have to sacrifice one for the other. When Dalton's playing well, Rui ain't, or he's hurt. When Rui's playing well, Dalton ain't, and he's benched or in the doghouse. But Connect was feeling himself. He's gaining a little bit of confidence here, Joe, in the past week. JJ's kind of put the kibosh on his confidence. Like I said, it's not the problem, but it's a problem. On top of the defensive schemes that he's got to work on top of, you've got three guys who average over 6 assists per game, but you got to cut down the turnovers. Joe, look at the turnover differential in the losing streak as well. There's a big correlation between the Lakers turning it over and getting killed in the half court, either on transition or easy buckets. There are a lot of there's a lot of moving parts here that, quite frankly, I think we're running out of time.
So running out of time is correct. There's definitely running out of time. But we also did hint that this might be a transitional period as well. And I still was kind of back and forth with that. I really never felt 100%, but I did watch these guys win a World Series with 2 pitchers and a stick of gum in the end. And I thought maybe if there's some fortune, and I was criticized for this as well, where I was saying, I go, if they can get that second seed, they can draw a favorable first round and second round. They won't be as taxed as much to possibly run the rest of the way. At this point, if they don't get home court, there's probably a big chance that they might not even make it out of the first round. For sure, not out of the second. And then the Lakers have to start doing some work, and I really think they need to do some soul searching, because even though there's encouraging things coming here, you also have to factor in that LeBron, should he decide that he wants to play longer, he's going to be now a year older. That is a problem, because if he's going to be your 1A or 1 still, that's something that you have to worry about for another 82-game season. So you better make sure you have either a third star that's manageable with salary, or you get 2 other guys that are really going to be able to pick up the slack. And there has to be some kind of feisty or just foaming at the mouth type mentality here if JJ Redick wants to kind of back up his mouth. Right now, his mouth, I've said this a few times, Sean, you've appreciated it. It's only being stubborn if you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're going to be stubborn with the Dalton Connects, Dalton Connect came in today with someone in his face and hit a 3, and then he didn't play after 5 minutes. I'm curious on why you're not playing this guy. And he doesn't have to tell us anything. He's the coach. It's his team. But the optics don't work. They don't make any sense to me. That's somebody that you actually need making those shots, because guess what? Other than DFS for a few of those shots, no one was really hitting shots tonight. Probably could have used him. You weren't playing any defense. You might as well see if you can get the offense going, right? So I don't know what's going on. I really don't know really what's going on. Maybe guys are just burnt out. That could be it too. Lucas said rest. He might be mentally done from all the headache of moving out of Dallas and God knows dealing with he just bought a $15 million home and all that stuff. You know, I think that might be what's mentally drained him. And LeBron might be hitting that area where maybe this is the beginning of, man, I'm really starting to feel like I'm getting tired mentally. I don't know. I'm just throwing this out here. But it's just unfortunate, because there was so much hope about a week ago, and just stopping the vehicle and parking just really kind of put a dent in everything in it. And they haven't been able to start the car since.
No, cars in the ditch right now. Over your last 10 games, you're 3-7.
And it's sad. It really is, because there was they had won 8 in a row, and then they went to Boston and played valiantly. It's not a shame to lose to Boston in Boston. They're the champs. And you were competitive till the end without one of your guys. There was nothing to be ashamed of that day. But then what did you do for the next game? You decided not to play certain players in that Brooklyn game, DFS specifically, and you lose to them. And that's where the bad seed started, in my view. That's where it really started. That losing that game to Brooklyn was a really, really bad loss, and it just set the trend the wrong way. They ended up getting beat by Milwaukee, which again I wasn't too upset with. Luka had a pretty good game. Everyone else just couldn't click on. And then they almost beat Denver, but they couldn't execute a fucking defensive play with 53 seconds left. Those little things. I don't care if it's LeBron and Luka and Austin Reeves out. Dude, you should be able to hold one damn play at least with 53 seconds left, and you're up 3. You're up 3. If you're up 2, I get it. You're up 3. Hold them long enough so that if they have to score, let them score 2. Then you're probably going to guarantee yourself a free throw game, which is where you want to go at worst case. And these things did not happen, and they end up losing that game when they should have won. I don't care who was out. They were up 3 with 53 seconds left. They should have been able to win that game. Champions win those kind of games. And then they kind of get back to normal. They're at home. They're comfortable. They win 3 in a row. They beat Denver really nice. And then they sit 70% of their roster. What? Why? You're playing Milwaukee. You're not playing the Blazers. You're not playing the Wizards. You're playing Milwaukee, dude. And they hand you a cock meat sandwich, and then it never stopped. You just kept getting fed that. It's just it's a mentality. It's a mentality. It's not there. It's there when they want it to be. Yeah, folks, ain't gonna happen. And this infatuation with the fantasy stories that adds more to the irritation too. Oh, see, we told you that this guy was going to be good. Who's going to be good? Well, Bronny. Well, so what do you mean he's good? What the fuck does that have to do with us losing, getting our ass whooped? Are you paying attention to his stat lines? Or are you worried about the Lakers winning? You're worried about that. And I'm not going to take you seriously at that point. Yeah, you lose all credibility to me at that point. A negative 36 player, I'm supposed to go and chant his name outside for the neighbors to hear. Really? Okay. Go ahead. Go do whatever it is that you do, but I'm not buying into that. Let's see if I can get to some of these comments. Some of you guys have been saying some good stuff. I want to kind of catch up to it. Let's see. Sam, one could argue that it's better to rest players against teams you may lose to anyway. That's a loser mentality, Sam. You got to get that out of your head. And you've seen proof on why that's a wrong way to look at it. Let's see here. What else? Johnny P. DeRosa. I haven't seen you. I know LBJ can play, but still, he doesn't have the endurance anymore. Yeah, that is true. I don't know, Sean. Let's talk about a little bit about Wednesday before we head out. So, in the past, let's look at this from a history standpoint. The Lakers generally don't play well in Orlando, Miami, or Atlanta, right?
Mm-hmm.
I've attributed it to maybe the nightlife over there. I don't know. Maybe it's just too far away. Whatever it is, it's just not been a consistent winning area for some reason. But they're going to go into Indiana here in a couple days. What do they adjust for the Indiana game? Are they going to continue Luka playing iso ball? Is LeBron gonna? Because LeBron had some plays today where he looked like he was fresh. A lot of good footwork, turnaround jumpers. I think he looked pretty healthy to me. But is his mind there yet? Is what exactly is going on with him? And can he up his game a little bit going into the end and understanding that this is going to probably this is somewhat starting to get to a must-win game. These are all becoming must-win games. Can they go in Indiana and deal with an Indiana team that's also all offense and no defense? And are they going to play them tough, or are they just going to let them shoot whatever they want? That's going to be an important question to answer. I haven't had a chance to really absorb that yet.
Okay, I'll answer your question, my friend. I'm gonna ask you a follow-up. Better have your head screwed on straight, because that team that you're playing at I don't know what's it called, the Vagisil Arena, the Conseco Field. I don't know what it's called, but anyway,
They changed that name like 500 times.
yeah. Anyway, you better have your head on a swivel. They like to run
Gainbridge.
Oh, Gamebridge, whatever. Yeah, I don't even want to know what that company does, Joe.
I don't either. Probably insurance.
Yeah, probably knowing that name.
Jeez.
Can't turn it over about 15 times, and you're damn sure not going to be able to survive Indiana scoring 25, 30 points in transition. Halliburton's just too good. He's just too good. So you better have a game plan to stall him in the half court because he can really get it going. Joe, it's not a must win. It's a have to win. You gotta get this back to back. You gotta be Indiana, and then you gotta go into Chicago and just punch them in the mouth. That would let me know they kind of got a good idea of what they need to do. Because Joe, we've been watching sports a long time. The best teams, the champions, they start playing their best now, right now. They don't wait until the first round. April comes around, they're ready to go. And my question to you is, if you had to put a gut feeling on it, do you think the Lakers have played their best basketball yet? Or have they already played their best basketball?
Wow, that's a really good question. My instincts say they've played their best basketball.
So do mine, which is unfortunate.
Now, things could change in the playoffs. Matchups are a little bit more favorable because you're preparing for one team. If they end up getting a first round home court advantage, that's in the positive side a little bit. However, there is obvious mental fatigue with this team. It's sad too. It's just you would think a bunch of young guys would be able to play an 82-game season without mental fatigue, but it doesn't look like that's the case. Luka, with his lifestyle change, there's some leeway there maybe, but that's not really how my brain operates either. It's like, dude, what exactly has happened that's really affecting your life? I know real life people live real lives too off the court, but I would like to think that as much as we've prompted him up, that he can put that aside for 48 minutes and focus on the game, because that stuff doesn't affect the game. That shouldn't affect you if you're that guy. And maybe I'm being unreasonable, but that's how I feel. I feel like you can worry about what's going on off the court when you go to work. No one gives a shit what's going on at my house when I work. If I call my client and I'm like, my kid's sick and they have a birthday party that they have to host on Saturday and it's a Friday, they're going to be pissed because I told them I would do it. You've committed to this thing. You committed it. You've committed to play, and I would hope that you could play with all your heart. But it's not. It's just not there, guys. It's not there, and it's the futile path. I think we're never going to see desperate anymore, even for the greats.
And Joe, aside from the Rockets in '95, you can't struggle down the stretch in the NBA and hope to call yourself a champion. That day is done. All these teams that kind of were up and down the water, started out strong from the 60s to 70s. That doesn't happen anymore. You gotta come out of that All-Star break with a mentality of just destroy and conquer. And we had it for a little while, Joe. I don't know. I'm with you. I don't know what happened to it. Where'd it go? Just didn't vanish in the thin air.
Well, it happened because of what we said. They got pig-headed. It's
Real cocksure.
It's a habit that we've seen in the past. It's a habit that we've seen. There's this arrogance that forms, and a lot of it derives from a massive inferiority complex. It's always the basis of all that. When things are good, oh, see, I told you. And then when things go bad, it's the deflection. if you've been around and you're really observant, you see it so much. And the results of society, the results of sports and all that always kind of are intertwined. You could see it in you see it in how a parent will communicate with their children. That's probably the one area where I've noticed that massive deficiency. The parent is so narcissistic and arrogant, and the children get the shit into the stick there because you hear terms. I gotta have my time. I gotta have my week. I gotta have my mommy time. Like these phrases that always crack me up. And I some are not deliberate, some are not literal, some are just like, oh, I just need a break. I have 4 kids and they're all boys. Oh, totally get it. 12, 13, 15, and 16. I get it. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about those 2 weeks where you were shuttling them for soccer championships and they were just meatheads, right? And testosterone. I'm talking about regular stuff that's your children ask a basic question and you bite their heads off because you're taking your frustrations out on them. Looking at it from a sports perspective, there's a lot of that same thing going on where you get tired of the media cracking on you, and you should never let the media, especially the media now. I mean, there were some somewhat credible people back in the day, but right now, what is the media? It's some Yahoo on X. It's someone that you don't even know on ESPN with a bald head that doesn't know shit about basketball. Like, why would that affect you? Why would
Scott
you
Van
let
Pelt?
Scott knows his shit? No, so I actually like Scott.
Yeah, so do I. But anyway,
Scott is what I like about Scott is he's so excited about what he's doing, and you don't get that a lot. And his obsession with college football too is always just I don't I'll watch a few minutes of just him as soon as the games are over. He's all over it. No, he's got a great show. I like Scott. I think Scott's one of the last greats of the ESPN dynasty.
If you haven't heard him go up against Alabama football fans, you should, Joe. It's great. It's a great listen.
Oh man, now you got.
But anyway,
yeah, it's
just to kind of reiterate why you want to keep playing your best when it counts, especially in April. I'll just throw something out here, okay? So 21-22, the Warriors won the championship. They beat the Boston Celtics in 6 games. Their March was shit, Joe. They went 5-11 in March. But guess what? They went 5-0 in April, Joe. And they won the first round series in 5 games. That means he went 9-1. So looking back, this team was playing its best in April. There's still time. It's right here. It's Monday, March 24th. I know it's still in March, but the fact is they got to turn it around right now. Now. Because here's the plane. The plane. You got to hit the runway. But instead it looks like you're veering off and you're about to hit a tree. Got to stay on the runway.
Yes, and they are going to be playing the last 2 games here, Wednesday and Thursday, against the Eastern Conference. After this, every team they play is going to be a Western Conference team, and why that matters is there's a familiarity more with those teams. So let's end this on a positive, optimistic mode. The Lakers, let's say, split the next 2 games, and they happen to beat Memphis at home. In Memphis. Then they come back and they have games against Houston and Golden State at home. And then the remaining 6 games will be New Orleans, Oklahoma City, both games in Oklahoma City, Dallas at Dallas, which will be a nationally televised game, and then Houston and Portland the end of the year. So I'll say this to kind of keep things positive here. When they face Golden State, that's going to be the first game that they play in April, and then they'll have a total of 7 games in April. If they can manage a 2-5 record that in that run, then there might be some hope.
You mean
That-
5-2?
5-2, which means they probably have to win one of those games in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at it that way. Maybe they're getting their jollies off now. Maybe they clean up themselves a little bit here before April and then make a little bit of a run. If that is the case, then maybe there's some hope to get into the playoffs and hope that they can make that run. I think Ahmad Rashad is somewhat retired. He still does interviews, but I don't think he's doing anything nationally.
I don't think so.
He looks slightly older than he did. He's aged extremely well.
Oh, hell, he's a pretty good football player.
Good football player. A staple in our culture of sports. I didn't know him as a football player. I knew him as the NBA guy and the Michael Jordan lackey. Although the thing is, I think he gets a bad rap for that. He was never a lackey to Jordan. I think Ahmad Rashad was a lot like Jim Gray to Kobe. He was his mouthpiece, and I think it's funny. I remember when they were talking about the gambling thing and how Jordan was wearing his glasses when he was interviewing him. And I think he shit on him after the interview. Like, what the fuck were you doing wearing the glasses? Like, what the fuck was that all about? Like, you made it worse. So I think I don't think Ahmad was ever a lackey. I think Ahmad was one of those guys that could tell Michael that, hey, dude, what the fuck you doing? Like, and Michael would listen to him. And Michael was always, I think Michael always had that in him to where if he knew how to scope out who he really could be normal with, he would make sure to ride with them. And it's very hard for someone as famous as some of these guys, man. They can't rely on anybody because everybody wants something from them. And Ahmad Rashad, I mean, Ahmad was just as pretty, if not prettier, than Michael. At that time, he was married to the queen of television and Felicia Rashad, right, from the Cosbys. I think the only one that was prettier at that time that I remember watching a lot of is Reggie Theus. That's it. Those were the 3 guys I remember that I used to see a lot of during that time during NBA stuff.
And
Reggie
NBA on TNT.
NBA on TNT. Reggie Theus was the guy.
Reggie
right?
Theus for Charles Barkley.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll play it by ear here. We'll end it on a positive note. I want to thank everyone for being here tonight. I was planning not to be here because I knew you and Johnny were going to be on here. I wanted you guys to have your airtime. Lakers all day. Thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure when you're here. The crowd has had some good comments. I'm sorry, guys. Usually when I'm hosting and talking, it's hard to get to all your comments. But anything that you guys want to send our way, please don't hesitate. You can comment on YouTube or email us at Lakers Fast Break at Yahoo.
Before we head on out, Johnny DeRosa, I hope that comment is not serious.
What comment?
Was Eldon Campbell better than Rick Fox?
That is a resounding no.
Don't even go there with Foxy with me, Johnny. Don't go there with Foxy.
No. He should have been definitely more skilled, but he didn't connect it enough.
Well, here's the thing. Just from a historical perspective, Joe, there has been a lot of guys who've come to the Lakers and taken a pay cut. Foxy was the first one who actually won championships. And it got other people thinking about that. See, Terry Teagle was a great shooter until he showed up for the Lakers. On every other team, that guy took a pay cut trying to win a championship. Foxy is the real first guy in all major sports to kind of, because the Knicks offered him a lot more money, Joe. A lot more money.
Actually, it was the Cavs. I think Cavs offered him a
The
4-year, $20 million contract. And then what ended up happening was I think he took, if I remember correctly, I think he took the minimum. At that time, the minimum was like a little over $1 million until I think after year 2, then Dr. Buss rewarded him. I think he signed what was it? I think what Cleveland gave him, maybe a little bit more. So I think what happened there is Foxy said, he's actually on record saying this. He goes, I didn't want to lose in Cleveland. I didn't want to die in Cleveland. Which, think about it.
Well,
that was a great investment on his part, right? Like, what was he going to do with money in Cleveland, right?
Well,
Take a chance in LA. You have an opportunity to advance your career. Take a couple of pay cuts, but then you get rewarded by Dr. Buss, and he did. And not only did he get rewarded money-wise and network-wise, the guy won 3 championships. You would have never seen that in Cleveland.
Well, not only that, he voluntarily went to the bench after they got Glenn Rice. He was a starter, and then he went to the bench.
And that's why these guys are champions. That's why Rick, Derek, Ori, Harper, that's why those guys all had a piece in everything in those 3 championships. Rick Fox locking down Stojakovic in 01. Fish not missing a 3 other than a few times in 2001. Glenn Rice, in my view, if Phil Jackson wanted to win 69 games that year, possibly 70, he played a big part in being that perfect third guy. You guys, this Ori, obviously, you know that, you know what he did. These guys all played a part because it's a team game, and they all had a say in everything that this team was successful in. And it was, if we never see it again, we had it then. How many times are we going to see a three-peat in our life? I don't think that's going to be. We could never see a three-peat again. But we saw one, and we were old enough and coherent enough to see it. And I can't tell you guys how amazing. And maybe we'll do this on a History 101, just kind of giving you a little nostalgia on it. I remember those years vividly. It was in my prime. We're talking 22 to 24. I mean, I was a bad boy between 22 and 24, guys. I'm still a bad boy now, but you have no idea.
You're a family man, Joe.
I am a family man.
It's
but man, I was a bad, I had it all. Like things,
a menace.
I was Wolverine. Yeah. I was Wolverine. I something happened. I healed in one day, man. Now it takes me 6 months to heal. So there is so much on that at that time that was so fun to just think about, because you vicariously lived through these guys, and every one of them had their kind of their own personality and their own effectiveness, their own talents. It was really, really fun, and to at least be around it. And it's the same with the Steelers in the 2000s. That Ben Roethlisberger, Troy Polamalu team. If the Steelers never win a Super Bowl, I'm just happy I was able to watch some of the best football that I've ever seen and I will ever see in my life, because I don't think we'll ever see that football. Well, we're not going to ever see that football again. So, yeah, be happy that you were there. Be happy that you at least saw it. Now we got to adapt, Sean. We got to adapt to these pussies and accept that things have changed, and hopefully we can manage some championships in terms of our viewership. And I'm okay with it. I've accepted the fact that things have changed, and you try to roll with the punches as much as you can. But I'll tell you, if there's a reason why, and it's that, I'm going to make it clear. And that's what we're doing here tonight. So thank you again, everyone. Have a great evening. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening wherever you are. We will talk more, obviously, tomorrow before the Indiana game on Wednesday. And until next time, we'll see you next time.